Hi at Experience, sorry for badging into your DM, I just want to pour out my frustration cause I'm really going through a lot in my marriage. Please keep me anonymous as well. I got married 3 years ago to the man of my dreams. My husband is from a very strict Christian family. When I mean strict to the core. I'm also from a strict Christian home. My mom and dad are very religious and that's how I was brought up. When I finally met my husband, I was sure he's the one. We never had sex intercourse throughout our dating stage as we were keeping it till marriage. After we got married, I was really hoping that our wedding night would be fire, but to my surprise, that night my husband made us pray for 1 hour and then he went to bed. As a Christian, I wasn't too worried cause it's always good to start with God, so I was hoping that he will touch me the next night. My husband didn't touch me for over a month after our wedding. I finally asked him why he hasn't touched me. He said he's not yet ready for kids, that we should wait a little. In my mind I was like, does he mean he can't touch me except he's trying to make a baby? It was really confusing, but I just had to go with the flow. 2 months passed and I had been craving the D so badly. My female friends that are married were always gisting me about how their husbands tear them to pieces in bed. They're always talking about how they engage in all kinds of seggzzz activities with their husbands. I always had nothing to tell because my husband doesn't touch me. I was starved for months after my wedding until one night he finally woke me and told me he's ready. We had seggzzz that night and I fell pregnant for my first child afterwards. I gave birth and healed properly, waiting for him to touch me again, but he didn't. That was when my eyes opened and I realized that my husband only sees seggzzz as procreation and not as a recreational activity. I tried severally to talk to him, but he keeps using the word of God to make his point, which is starting to piss me off. In 3 years of marriage, my husband hasn't touched me up to 5 times. In fact, after our first child, we had seggzzz 3 times only. Because he was looking for a second child, if I was pregnant at the first trial, he wouldn't have touched me up to 3 times. I'm starved, I'm craving and dreaming of seggzzz. It's so bad that I even started helping myself. I usually insert a candle inside my V2, but it's not even helping. I have a friend that's also suffering the same problem. Her husband is also very spiritual, a pastor for that matter, and she tells me that her husband doesn't even touch her at all. She said her husband is always in the spirit, always praying and speaking in tongues, that he doesn't have time to sleep with her. Women like me are really suffering in marriage. Imagine keeping yourself till marriage before you can have seggzzz, only to enter inside the marriage with a man that doesn't even want to touch you. It's painful. Even God created a man and gave him a woman to satisfy his seggzzz desires, but some men think it's only for reproduction. It's been good 3 years in marriage and I'm just here craving the D. I'm a D-starved thirsty wife, and it affects me a lot at work. If not the fact that I'm a strong Christian and faithful partner, I would have gone astray. I'm still trying to convince my husband that seggzzz isn't only for reproduction, but for pleasure. We keep fighting on the subject. It has gotten to the point where he even thinks I'm not a good Christian. He said a good Christian shouldn't care about seggzzz, like you're my husband and you have every right to my body and likewise, so why shy away from your responsibility? Why always using the Bible to defend infidelity? I want to be made love to, but my husband only wants children. It's as if we both have two different ideologies when it comes to seggzzz, and it's really affecting our marriage. The more I crave to be touched, the harder it is to stay faithful. I know that so many married women are facing the same issues in their marriages, and I'm one of them. As hard as it is to come out, I just thought of sharing my story with you. What would you advise me to do in this situation? 'Cause it's really getting out of hand and I honestly didn't sign up for this. Drop your thoughts in the comment section.